Well. Welcome to another episode of Prepper Talk Radio. This one is our live stream event. It is National Preparedness Month. I am Scott, and we've got Paris and Shane in the house. Welcome back, you guys.
Happy to be here.
It's exciting. We're helping people get better prepared. If you want to get more access to us, to our group, we've got a really fantastic group on Facebook. Hop on over, go to the Prepper Talk Radio page, like it, and you'll see a link to our group from there, Emergency Prep and Self-Reliance. We've got about 1,000 people in there that we help on a weekly basis. You can get that help as well. Also, make sure you're subscribing to our podcast, wherever it is, wherever you're listening. We're on everything. Love to have you. And if you've got any good reviews, we'd love to hear your feedback. So today, with it being National Preparedness Month, which is kind of awesome.
For us, it's Preparedness Month every month.
Every
so
month.
I don't know what's so special about it.
Every day is a ready day.
That's right.
And for those of you who are wondering why Paris isn't talking, is he's mad at us and doesn't want to say anything.
No, I do.
No, we're just giving him a hard time. But we want to thank you guys for whoever's joined us in our live streams. We're here to help. We're here to encourage and promote preparedness every way we can. This episode, for those of you guys who are new to what we're doing, it's all about being more self-reliant, simplifying your life, de-stressing, decluttering your life. And this episode's all about the hacks, the tricks, the things that help simplify for us, the mindset. We're going to answer your questions as we go, but we also want to talk about some things to think about with this being National Preparedness Month. Things like, what are you doing if you have someone in your household who has special needs? What are you doing? Are you putting plans together for them and making sure they're okay and taking care of them? Are you putting things together for your pets? Right? Are you doing those things to make sure everybody's a-okay?
I believe the word you used, Scott, was cornucopia.
Cornucopia, yes. This is our cornucopia episode. I'll do a beautiful cornucopia graphic for our YouTube channel later. But I think the big thing is like, where are you and how can we help you get to the next step? Right? For me, like, my big next step is I'm really looking at solar solutions. I'm also looking at getting more canned foods, not store-bought canned foods, but canning foods. I'm working on, I got my canner ready to go. I've got cans. Walmart and everybody else has everything on sale right now. The best prices of the year that I found on canning supplies. And so I'm getting some more of those. And I'm going to can everything I can in the next couple of months.
Well, the thing is, we're watching what's happening overseas, right? Across the pond, as they say, over in Europe, and anticipating that those issues will come here, and trying to figure out what to do for ourselves to head those problems off so that we don't have to deal with them, get ready for them now, where they kind of took Europe by surprise. I mean, somewhat, but what can we do? Like Scott's saying, solar. Okay, and that's one thing I just really started to look into more seriously for my home. I've never really wanted to do that because of the cost and financing the a rooftop solar system, but with potential outages. I mean, look at California.
Mm-hmm.
They're having the sporadic brownouts, power outages. What can I do?
Hurry and go get a solar system for your house. So hurry and go get an electric car so that you can't charge it for weeks at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the Babylon Bee? They put out a thing that says that Californians are now encouraged to get a huge hamster wheel in their garage and run really fast to charge their electric vehicles. I love the Babylon Bee.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
There's actually a bike, a stationary bike charging solution that I've seen for years, and everyone keeps saying it's coming out, but it never gets to the market. I hope Shane's okay. It sounds like he just took out a rat in the corner. It's K-Tor. I've got mine. I don't really like those.
They make a little bike pedaling thing too, right?
They do, but I'm talking, there's a big wheel bike. The wheel is this big, connected to a alternator style charging solution.
You can make your own too.
And you can actually create with that enough energy to power your house for 24 hours on 1 hour of exercise.
Wow.
And I'm like, bring it to the US.
That's a dual
Bring it to
purpose
the
for
world,
sure.
right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's going to get you in better shape and it's going to be better for our environment. And I'm like, I need that. I want that. Oh baby. Let's get this thing going. And I'm looking at my wife's stationary bike and I'm like, how can we modify that to be able to do this? I'm like, can't be that hard.
Get an alternator.
Right. I think get an alternator, put a rubber wheel on it and put on a mounting bracket and then just shove it up against the other wheel. Don't even need a cable. Just push it up. There we go. Oh, that'd be awesome.
And use that to generate electrical current. Yeah, into a battery bank or whatever. It can be very simple. Make yourself a wind turbine that way. That's a whole nother episode.
Right? That's a totally whole other episode. Just like the episode of doing the solar powered heater solution for the winter, which I'm going to be doing that soon and recording a video on it. So that'll be up on our YouTube. But guys, it's so much fun when, like, for me, preparedness, prepping, I'm kind of, I don't know if I'm over the word prepping or like I have a love-hate relationship with the word.
Yeah.
I like that our catchphrase is radio for the ready-minded. Because our preparedness is about being prepared for the Lord to come back, right? Also being good stewards of what we have and being good with our neighbors and being able to help when those disasters come, but also being responsible for, more importantly, our families. Our families are first. And so everyone that's listening, you should be focusing on that as well. Like, what can you do to better prepare your family and make sure that they are first and that they are a priority? With National Preparedness Month, this is the perfect time for you to think about it. These are the things we always think about.
And for me, the prepping can be fun. It's not just about canning and just getting food storage, which can be really boring stuff. So one thing that I do to make it enjoyable, or rather keep it on my mind all the time, are the EDC items, right? Things I have on me every day that I use every day. Look, I'm prepared. Look at this. And then I can show off, like, hey, somebody has some, yep, I got scissors. I got a knife here. I got a flashlight. What do you need? And everybody's kind of taken back sometimes. Some people are taken back saying, oh, wow, Shane, he's got that on his person right there with him. He doesn't even have to go looking for it. He has it right there. Yeah. And that's a way to, I think, really stand out and say, oh, wow, maybe I should carry a pocket knife. Maybe I should carry a flashlight, right? Those types of things. So I think EDC is a fun way to do that. You switch it up every day if you want to, every week. Carry different things. Try different things, especially when you're new. I've settled on certain things that I have really an affinity for now, and kind of a passion. They're just my babies.
Your babies.
They're your comfort blanket.
Exactly, things that I always have with me that now I feel kind of lost without them, which I know I'm not. But maybe that's a downside to it, to have an EDC item, right? It's like, I'm not armed. What do? I feel naked. Okay. I gotta, learn to.
What's funny is like you, I carry certain things all the time, and if I don't have it, like if I'm in a hurry and I rush out the house, I'm like, you're like, oh no, I don't have what I need.
Yeah.
Like I've done that with my wallet. I've done that with the thing that happens the most is I'll forget like my pocket knife, and I use that all the time. But what's funny is I'll go somewhere and they'll be like, you can't have this in here. Like I had to go through security checkpoint, and I'm like, oh crap. Let me run to the car. Okay, I'm back. Or when I'm traveling and I'm at the airport and I'm like, la la la, and I get to check in security. I'm like, there goes another knife.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, I should have checked a bag. But it's just it's one of my flaws. I'll forget those things. So I've probably spent way too much money on knives, but I've got ones that I love, and it's funny because losing my last Kershaw got me to this new Kershaw, and it's bigger, it's easier to hold, and I like it even more, which is funny than the smaller one that I had before that was awesome, and I loved it. But I don't know. As you play with different things and test different things out, you get to the things you like, and you get more of those as you grow.
Yeah, I have my pocket knife is one of those rescue knives. It's one of those ones that has the little tip on the end that can break glass. And then it's got a little razor blade thingamajiggy for cutting a seatbelt. And, you can get away with a little bit bigger knife if you actually have this kind of a rescue, resources on it, because I know I remember when I lived in California, one of the things that I was worried about is that you can only have a certain number of inches of a knife, or otherwise you're in big trouble. And so, however, one of the ways to get away with that was to say, look, this is a rescue knife. I have to have this thing in case I get stuck in my car.
Yeah, it's 2 inches in California, isn't it? 2-inch blade.
Yeah, something ridiculous. And I was
Yeah,
like,
it's pretty
dude, that's like
California
that's nothing. That what can you do with a 2-inch pocket knife? Anyways, but if you have these rescue accoutrements or these rescue resources on here, then it allows you to have it as a rescue instrument.
Rescue tool.
Well, it's interesting. I've actually just got a question thrown in the group. Don't you think it's odd that Christ has been coming back for 2,000 years but hasn't arrived yet? Big Daddy Magic, thank you for the question. Christ did prophesy, and there's a lot of prophets in the Old Testament and New Testament that talk about when he comes back. Every generation is hoping that he comes in our generation, but the signs have not been fulfilled for his coming. So until that happens, he's not coming. And a couple signs have been fulfilled, but the signs, all the big ones, they haven't happened. And so we continue to wait and we prepare. But the cool thing about trying to prepare for Christ, it teaches us to be a better person, a kinder person, a more loving person. But I think even in addition to that is as we become self-reliant or try to become self-reliant, we prioritize things that matter more in life, such as, growing a garden, creating a sustainable solution. We think more about simplifying things and becoming more one with the world. And for me, it's like, I'd forgotten how good it felt to garden. And I started gardening this year, and it's been a fiasco at times, but it's been so good educationally. And so I'm glad that I've invested my time into that garden, even though has it produced like I would have wanted it to. I was hoping for a cornucopia, and instead I'm getting a lunch sack half full of small tomatoes, and I'm getting my cucumbers are working now. So that's good. I'm going to have a ton of pickles, but it's funny because until
now you just need some chicken so you can have pickles and eggs.
No chickens. I'm not getting chickens. No, I want to get quail, but I'm not getting chickens. Chickens, they're just a bigger problem.
I'll get the chickens. You can
have the chickens. If I had property like farther away and I was on that full time, I would definitely get chickens at that point. If I had a roaming area where they could roam, and a larger area for a garden, and a container cabin,
and no mountain lions in your backyard.
Well, even if I had mountain lions, you can still pen them in and make things work so that they're semi-safe.
You were supposed to run with that, Scott.
Oh, you're talking about the mountain lions on my roof.
Yeah, there's a real experience there.
You guys could go Google that on the news. You'll find it. It's also on my Facebook page.
See, this is what I mostly use my EDC knife for. This is what I use. Fingernails, and then cleaning out my cuticles here. Scraping those off there.
I tried that. And I don't like doing that.
And I love the shape of this knife. It's great for opening boxes, and it's got a fairly flat belly. It's got a nice choil here, so I can really choke up on it. It's super lightweight, and it's good steel, not too expensive, but I love it.
Yep. So Utah Mike actually says Swiss Army knife and a Leatherman. Oh, Leatherman wave. You know what? I've got
right there.
There you go.
Swiss tool.
I actually keep my Gerber multi-tool in my car, and I have a Leatherman as well, but that is in my bag because I never use it. I just never found a good use for it all the time. Mm-hmm. So I keep that one in my bag. But my Gerber, it's got different pliers on it, and I use those all the time on my cars. Like, I got to fix this. Oh, I lost this.
We talk about layers all the time, right? We talk about having different, 1 is none, 2 is 1, 3 is just right? And obviously you can't carry so many different things. I carry both of these always on me at the same time. Because they're easy to carry. Because the way I dress, I've got a belt, I've got holster for this. This goes in the pocket. I carry a small flashlight that's 100 something lumen. My Apocalypse light is a 3,000 lumen beast. These types of things. Yep. And if
you carry that bigger light on you?
Well, I don't. This is my bag, so this is always with me in my bag. But this is in my pocket, and I use it for work. And then this is always in my bag, my Mora knife, Garberg. Just a great utilitarian knife, super tough. So layers, right? And then learning to know what knife you love, what tool you love. This is my third one of these because I give them away or people break them. And then, which fixed blade knife works best for you, because there's so many to choose from.
Is that the Moore knife?
That's the Moore knife. Yeah. The Garberg, the thicker.
I like
that one.
I like what you said a minute ago, Shane. It's important to say, you said, because of the way I dress, I'm able to carry these things. And so sometimes people think, well, where am I going to put my knife? Where am I going to put the flashlight? Where am I going to put all this? Sometimes you need to now look at what kind of pants are you going to start wearing. Every time I hang out with you, Shane, you're in cargo pants, seems like. And
Levi's or a cargo short, or maybe a cargo pant. Yeah.
I started buying those too with more pockets. They give me more room to do that kind of thing and have the ability to, like you're saying, you have a belt that you wear that gives you gives you the ability to put more weight on your pants and not have them fall down. Keeps your pants up legitimately. Yep. And so it's important to think about, hey, wait a minute. If I'm going to have these items on my body, I also need to have the clothes that go with them. And so your wardrobe might change a little bit too. And so that's just something to think about.
No, that's something I have to buy my pants a little bit larger to fit my concealed carry inside. I've got the belts, the shirts that are a little bit longer to cover it a little better, right? I don't usually tuck in for obvious reasons, but you got to adjust things. And a lot of people are not willing to make those changes. Like, I'm too comfortable in my sweats or in these particular shorts that have a drawstring and don't accept a belt. All my shorts have to be able to accept a belt in there, right? Otherwise, I don't wear them unless I'm just hiking, right? Unless it's hiking with a backpack.
Well, what's funny is, like, you mentioned layers, right? And you think, I think better than I do, you think of the layers and how they can help with different things a little bit better than most. Like, what's on you is a layer. We really need to publish our book, but the Ready Radius is like, what's on you, what's in your brain first, what's on you, what skills you have, right? What you can carry with you, and changing how you dress helps that, right? But like going to the gym, if I'm going to the gym, does it make sense to carry there? Concealed carry, like, depends on your clothes, right? Because you never know what stupid people are going to do, right? And so you have to be cognizant of your places that you go, how you dress, what you do. And it's like, number one, going back to security, is making sure that you're not a target, right? Making sure that whatever you may have on you or however you're dressing doesn't bring more attention to you. It brings less attention to you.
Yeah. I think people would think I'm crazy, where I get out of bed, get dressed, firearm, all these things go on me. And I'm mowing the lawn, I'm still carrying. I'm doing the dishes, I still got everything on me, right? I go to the grocery store. I could even go to the gym and still carry most everything I have, and it wouldn't interfere because I know how to carry it, I know how to conceal it, and it does not get in the way. And I think most people think, they don't even want to have a bunch of keys in their pocket, let alone change. Yep. There you go. Yeah, your flashlight, your phone, and that's another EDC thing. Is you got your phone. That's a great EDC item. Other than the government can track you wherever you go. And my second option is the ham radio. Love this thing. This little ICOM. It's called the IC V86. It's ruggedized. It's water resistant. This is my layers. Right, first layer, second layer. And then I've got one in my car for my third layer.
You said ruggedized? Is that
ruggedized? So it's and this phone is a ruggedized phone as well. It's you can see it's quite a bit thicker. It's actually waterproof as is without a case. And I chose to get a more durable, larger, heavier, bulkier, less convenient phone because it's more durable, rather than just a small, flimsy type iPhone that you drop and it's gonna break. But
the other thing is, this is
what I use.
My case, like, I'm always thinking about my cases, like, what can I do to better protect my phone, better protect myself? And I'm like, I get battery extenders. Every one of my cases is an extra battery.
Nice.
So that I never have to worry if the power's gone out. My flashlight is also my iPhone, right? Yep. So boom, there we go. And it's a basic, but that's to get me to my other flashlights that have higher lumens.
Yep. Yeah, and this phone came with an extra battery as well that I carry in my bag that I can always just slap in there. So
Oh,
Nice.
see,
You know, there are lots of reasons
legit.
I buy things. It's not just because they're lightweight or convenient. It's because they serve a purpose, right? And people think I'm crazy because I carry a full size pistol. I mean, this thing is 4-inch.
That is a
full size.
training like this.
Exactly,
It's
this is
also a
training gun.
training. It's
But it's
not
full
real.
size. It's full size. It's not a pocket pistol, a 380. It's not a small pistol. I carry the biggest thing I can possibly carry. For me, even a subcompact is as small as I will go. And if we're talking gun talk, you should know what that means. We won't get into that, but there's subcompact, compact, and then full size. I'll carry the full size as much as I can, but subcompact is the smallest. And then pocket pistols, I don't even entertain, taking one of those, carrying one of those. But those are my layers. Again, my layers.
I know we've had arguments over this in the past. They've always been fun, but a Ruger LC9, what would you classify that as?
I would consider that a pocket pistol.
And what does it mean to make it? What's a pocket pistol?
Well, the pocket pistol is a much smaller frame, and it's really about the frame size. So compared to a full size, compared to a subcompact, the frame is the same. Compact has a shorter grip, has a shorter barrel, so it makes it easier to conceal. Your entire hand will not fit on the grip of a compact pistol, but this is a full size handle, and the reason why is because you can manipulate it all the same, right? Being a full size, whereas a smaller pistol, they're harder to manipulate, they're harder to aim. They don't have as much range. It takes more practice to, I guess, hit your target at a longer distance. They're just not as accurate. And if you have a jam or if you have an issue with it, they're not as easy to manipulate and clear jams and so forth, or to train with. And really not as fun to shoot either, right? You're shooting a 9mm in a small platform. It's not going to be very comfortable to shoot. It's going to be a little bit painful. And
So what's the difference then between the subcompact and the pocket pistol?
I was going to bring them out, but I really don't want to show the world all my guns.
Yeah.
But literally a pocket pistol, you're talking probably this size, very small.
Okay, so a Ruger LT9 is still a subcompact.
Well, it's also slimmer. It's also slimmer too, right?
According to the manufacturer, it's classified
subcompact,
as subcompact.
but it's a very slim,
just barely
slim. And for me, and that's in my hands and the way it fits me, too small for me. And we've talked about this plenty, Scott.
I know. I just love bringing it up because you get on my case,
do.
And I love that. It makes me
I've
feel better
owned
about
so
myself.
many different handguns. This is what I've settled on. I figure this is what works for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to push on anybody else, but I love my platforms, and I will advocate for them.
What's that small flashlight? What's that small flashlight you had? Yeah,
this one is a Streamlight. It's a little USB charged, rechargeable. I love the rechargeable ones because I use them enough to where, this is rechargeable as well. This has glass breaker tips as well as the defensive. What do you call the front of the flashlight here for striking with?
Tactical.
Yeah, it's tactical. Plus, it has one thing I really love about a tactical flashlight is the momentary switch. You just press it lightly and it goes on and off. You don't have to click it on, click it off. It has a momentary switch.
You don't have to make any noise.
And also,
know where you are.
If you're searching, if you got your handgun and you're searching, you can search without keeping your light on the whole time and making yourself a target, right? If you can flash here, check here, check there, you're less of a target. You attract less attention. So that momentary switch, I think, is really important. And then, of course, the more lumens, the more of a defensive tool it is, because you can actually just incapacitate someone with lumens directly to their eyes. Over 800,000 lumens really will incapacitate somebody for a short amount of time. So those are my little tools. Another little tool I just love to death, because I am ocularly challenged. I love this little monocular. And so low light, I have trouble seeing, and then distance. This is just a great little tool. It's small. It's always in my vehicle or in my bag. And if you can see danger coming off from a distance, you're have more of an advantage. So that's something I have with me all the time as well.
Yeah, that's cool. But monocular or binocular? The other one would be.
Well, monocular is just smaller. It's easier to carry around. It takes up less space.
And it's only one.
It's just one. It's just one.
It's like a telescope.
One optic.
Just one optic. Yeah, one mono. whereas a
Yeah, exactly.
binocular is two,
Monocular.
one for each eye.
Exactly. So just smaller. That's the main reason. And then another EDC thing I love are my watches, right? I've got, this is my EDC. It's a solar watch, and so I never have to charge it. It is also
Nice.
radio controlled, so I never have to set it. It's always accurate. And it's a G-Shock Casio, so it's really durable. I can bang it around. It's still gonna work. I don't have to worry about it. And if I want more functions, I'll bring up my larger Mudmaster with the compass and all the fun gadgets on there as well.
Wow.
So those are my go-to apocalypse watches, you could say.
And I think, like, again, guys, get for you what makes sense for you. Use what makes sense for you to use. Like, it goes back to, I think the best preppers are the brand new moms. You look at their backpack, you look at their diaper bag, they're stocked for days, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have the redundancies, have the layers of things, like extra stuff in your car. With this being Preparedness Month, make sure you've got flares. Make sure you've got a fully pumped up spare tire and that your jack is fully there, right? Check on the things that you have to make sure everything's still there if it's something you don't use all the time. I look at this like every September to October is when I review and renew all of my bags. I double check everything, make sure everything is still good. If it's expiring soon, it comes out and gets eaten. If it's not, and it's good for a while, I leave it in there. But it's coming down to make sure that you're always checking on the things you have. I do that every April and every October. National Preparedness Month is great because it's a good reminder, like, hey, it's time to go double check all your stuff. Double check your layers, double check the things that maybe you need to pay a little more attention to. Check your first aid kits, check your medications. Are those things expiring soon? Are they already expired? You know, because some bandage systems, they go bad. So if they go bad, stop buying those ones. Or you've used a lot of them and you haven't restocked it yet. Go restock it.
Mm-hmm. You don't want to open up your first aid kit and the Band-Aids are like brutally falling apart and you're like, crap, I should have changed these out a long time ago. I think another good thing to do is there's a lot of people moving around these days, you know, different states, different places, what housing markets moving around. And so you might have moved from an earthquake zone into a flood zone. And so you might have emergency preps for earthquakes, but now you need to have emergency preps for floods, or maybe vice versa. Maybe you move from a flood zone into a earthquake zone. Yep. So it's important to kind of get an idea, maybe go to your city website and see what zones are going on, what things are happening in your area, the area that you just moved into, and be prepared for whatever natural disaster might come in that area. And so National Emergency Preparedness Month is really kind of designed to help people. And I think FEMA, ready.gov, all these places put this on. And not to get into what we feel about FEMA and what they're really doing, but anyways, the point is that they want to help us be more prepared for these natural disasters. But the reality is that this stuff helps us prepare for life's scenarios. And so definitely have that baseline foundational level of, hey, am I in a flood zone? Do I have tornadoes? Do I have hurricanes? I mean, do I live in Florida? Do I live in the Midwest? Like what's logistically and realistically going to happen in your area? Right. List out maybe 5 or 10 things, that natural disasters that could happen in your area. And then just have a little bit of backup plan on what might happen. Because remember a couple of episodes we talked about what happened in Kentucky. That lady was like, we're not even in a flood zone and we had a flood. And so there's some weird things going on in the natural disaster arena these days. And so there
really are.
Just be prepared and ready.
Everything is wackadoo. And the more you can be prepared generally, the better off you're going to be. Like, expect the unexpected, so much so that, oh, okay, we have a flood. Here's what we do if we have a flood, right? We had flooding the other day in our house. It was fun. And by fun, I mean, it sucked.
I mean, not fun.
We had so much water coming in, and we're not in a flood zone. We're halfway up a mountain. We had so much water hitting the roof and coming off the roof in such a short amount of time that it pooled up, got to the foundation, went down, and crept up underneath the floor and came in.
Oh, dang.
So it was a little tiny bit of water, but it was enough to disrupt things for a few days. Pull the carpet and pad back, dry it all out, make sure that everything is good and sanitized so that we don't have an issue. So sometimes things will happen. And guess what? We didn't have to go rent a dryer. Those big giant fans, we didn't have to go rent those. Why? I already have some.
Nice.
You know what the best fan in my house is that moves the most air? It's those things.
Those
So
air movers.
they are fantastic. So to cool our whole house off when it's 100 degrees like it is right now, I kick that thing on at the bottom of the stairs. And in the basement, all the cold air likes to hang out here. And so I kick a lot of that back upstairs, and it's reduced our utility bill.
That's a good idea.
It's like, boom, done, problem solved. That little thing turns our air conditioning off sometimes during 85, 95 degree weather. At 100, it stays on the whole time, but it keeps everything more comfortable in the house. Utah Mike. I love Mike. He's so awesome. We're going to show this comment. His wife calls his truck his never coming home bag. Right? He can leave. It's one of his protective layers, just like we talk about it, protective layers. You can leave. You can go anywhere you want to. And then Steve on our TikTok's like, hey, guys, I got 9 chickens. You know, going back to Shane's going to have his chickens soon. You know, me, I'm not ready for chickens, mostly because I'm not staying where I am. I'm gonna move eventually. Then I can have chickens when I have a little more space and less mountain lions on the roof. But yeah, like do what works for you where you are. Layer out from there, expand, protect yourself, and have fun doing this, because this is honestly the best hobby anybody can have.
Yeah, I think the vehicle is a fantastic layer. You know, that's something I use religiously as one of my like a ready radius, one of my layers. I think you would, if you saw my vehicle, how it's loaded up, you might laugh because of how ridiculous I am. I carry around a folding bike in my vehicle,
which is awesome.
Among many other things,
right? You've got space for that. You've got a way to do that. And so like, do what makes sense for you. Like I always carry really good shoes with me or on me, you know, so that I can get home if I need to. You know, I like to walk around barefoot as much as possible, but if I'm going on a drive, guess what? I've got shoes in the car. If I'm running around flip-flops, I've got shoes in the car. Why? Because I don't want to have to deal with a disaster and be in flip-flops. You know how annoying that is? It's horrible. But I really enjoy wearing flip-flops or being barefoot. So always, always, always take those extra moments to be a little bit more cautious, a little bit more prepared, a little bit more ready.
Well, one of the other things I carry in my vehicle is those folding dollies. I have so much stuff in my truck. I don't want to leave much behind. So strap it to that dolly, and it comes with me.
Oh, Utah Mike, in winter, he also carries firewood with him.
Yeah.
What do you think about those those little bars, those emergency bars that they talk about, the lemon bars or whatever? They're
keep talking.
Yeah, just the ration bars.
Yeah, the ration bars.
Yeah,
I have some of those in my. I have a package of those in each one of my bag and my kid's bag. That's for sure something that we have to just tide us over. It's that one. I think it's probably 5-6 square inches, and it's 4,000 calories in that one package.
Yeah,
you don't eat them
like
all.
A sugar cookie and
yeah. I'm thinking about getting a few more of those because I think those are pretty cool to have.
Different brands have different flavors. Some of them have like this lemony flavor, and I'll be honest, those ones suck.
You don't like lemon?
These? Well, they're like a bitter lemon. It's not like a sweet lemon.
Oh, got it.
Well, lemons are kind of bitter there, Scott. Yeah, there you go. Yep.
This brand is sugar cookie flavored.
Yep, that's what I have.
And these
is it like brown sugar?
No, like a
regular
sugar cookie.
Kind of a powdery, kind of a fluffy, but not fluffy, but flaky.
This is 3,600 calories. So I've got 2 of these in my bag. Plus I have these high calorie energy bars.
Right? What's the brand on that ration bag bar thing?
So the ration bar Mainstay.
Oh, Mainstay.
Oh, Daytrix is also really good.
Okay.
Yeah, those 2 are the only ones that I found that like taste really decent. Now you want to have lots of water with these because it's dry, but they get you by. Like
a lot of calories in a small plate in a small space. So to stick that in just my backpack, I got my backpack in my truck. If I got to go, backpack on, I got hopefully enough calories to get me good ways down the road.
And having a carrier, that's fantastic. Having a little fold out cart that's fantastic. I mean, because you can get a lot more farther.
But I also carry about 45 gallons of fuel too. So whenever I go anywhere, I make sure I'm all gassed up, and I make sure I fill up before I get out of range of being able to return. Right. So if I go beyond half a tank away from my home, I make sure I fill up so that I know I can turn around and come back.
Yeah.
So and then I have other gas.
You have one of those protective coverings over your trunk.
A tonneau. Yeah, over the bed.
Yeah, over the bed. And that's important because you don't want to have that stuff just sitting out in the open for anybody to walk by and grab, or, exposed to the elements.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing you need is that fold out bike. You haven't used it for 3 months and it's all rusted out, and you can't, the chain is like falling off and you're like, dang it.
I'm actually considering getting a shell so I can carry more stuff.
Nice. I'm sure. Yeah. I bet you would.
So in the bottom of my,
a lot easier to camp in there as well with the shell.
That's true.
I have,
say that again, Scott.
In the bottom of one of my backpacks, I have this cover that covers my backpack for waterproofing it. But I can also use this to carry water. I can also strap stuff to it and carry more stuff with my bag. But I also have a poncho that matches this ugly orange that is so durable and sturdy that I've used it for camping as my shelter. It's bigger than me. It's great. So
have you seen our logo, Scott? Lots of ugly orange here.
Well, this is like brighter.
Oh, okay.
Uglier. It's uglier like, orange.
Uglier orange. It's like
well, that's what orange is for, right? Look at me.
Yeah. But and part of the reason, like here's going back on why there's so much orange. First responders, emergency, primarily the search and rescue. What are their colors? Emergency response, it's orange.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Orange band. My drill, orange.
Oh, yeah.
Hand drill. I bought it. It just happened to be orange, so it's like a nice little thing. Utah Mike's asking if it's a folding wagon, but I think yours is actually a little dolly.
It's a folding dolly.
So it's a 2-wheel.
Got it at Home Depot. Yep, just 2-wheel folding dolly. Only holds 150, 200 pounds at most, but that's plenty to be able to carry a distance. Which
is great. Like we had one and I broke it because I wanted to see how much it could really carry. It said 600 pounds, and I'm like, bull crap. So I tested it. It broke at 280 pounds. I'm supposed to be getting a new one. It hasn't shown up. I need to follow up on that.
That's funny.
Find what works for you and do that. That's the key. I can tell everybody.
There's some wisdom in what you said. You test stuff before you use it. You don't want to break everything you get, but at the same time, you got to test stuff that you're using and make sure that you know what its capacity is, so that you're ready to go and you know what to do. Otherwise, you don't want to break it in the middle of an emergency because you didn't test it and you weren't ready for it. So now you know that thing can only do 280, even when it says more than that.
Yeah, 600 pounds, bull garbage. But again, just like the gorilla carts, I've got one, love it. It'll carry 1,200 pounds. When on earth am I going to carry 1,200 pounds in that thing? I've had 300 pounds in it, but I haven't gone any heavier than that. My kids pulled me around in it. I'm 300 pounds. But that was only on flat surface. Like they're too small to try to do anything else. But I also have, this is kind of cool. In the garage, I have an old kid cart. Those ones that you put on the back of your bikes.
Mm-hmm.
There's the older version of one of them actually has a plastic bin at the bottom. And I've actually filled the wheels with foam so that they won't pop. And I've got a lashing that I can lash that to my backpack where my hip strap is, where my waist strap is. And I can drag that anywhere I want to go, kind of like an old hand cart, or I could be the horse in the rickshaw, right? I've got it set up so that I can use that to help get away, to help relocate if I need to, and I can carry additional stuff. And those plastic ones actually have a higher weight capacity than the newer fabric ones. So if you can find an old one, if you're looking for something to maybe carry kids, carry gear, that's a great solution. It's got big tires on the sides, so you can drag things a lot easier with less resistance. And that's why I chose that, because I'm like, done, easy. Less resistance, the better.
Yeah, they even have the hunting carts that that
Mhm.
hunters use to carry their kills out of the mountains. I got one of those a long time ago, just to be able to have, throw a tarp. It's all made of metal, and there's not really a bag. I mean, you can't throw little things in there, but maybe you put a tarp over it, and then it has you have something to catch all the little stuff, because you put the tarp down first, and then you can wrap that around the stuff and kind of tie it down. And so making sure you have ties too to go along with that, because you need to have some good ties, because
Yep.
you don't want things falling. You're walking a mile down the road, you turn around, and you're like, crap, all my stuff's out. You fell out of the cart. So those hunting carts are pretty robust, and they can carry
those
a
are
lot of
awesome.
weight.
Well, another fun thing, there's a new backpack company or a new backpack product that came out this last year for hunters, that you can actually carry a few hundred pounds, and it doesn't feel like you're carrying a few hundred pounds. They have these side mount hook systems that latch onto the sides, so the weight doesn't go onto your back, it goes onto your side. And because of that, the steadiness of it, you can actually go a lot farther with it and less fatigue. I'll find it and share that. I found them on TikTok and was just blown away at that technology. I'm like, no way. And this little 5'3" lady, they threw 200 pounds on her, and she's just like, that's it? That's amazing. How can I carry this?
Cool.
If you guys have any suggestions, we'd love to hear it, because we tend to get, at least I tend to get like this, right? I've got my solutions, I figured them out. I don't need to see anything else, right? But definitely love to see what you guys are doing.
So getting back to the closing out for the month, or closing out for the topic for the day, guys, layer your preparedness and never stop, because it just simplifies life. Refresh what you have, rotate through what you're using the most of, always replenish those things. It's easier to stay prepared when you kind of track it, and it doesn't take much time. Once a month, just a quick little check on everything will save you time and money in the long run, and it could save a life. So with that, don't forget to go like and subscribe to all of our stuff. Hit our webpage, preppertalkradio.com, and join the newsletter so we can send you all the cool stuff we find, as well as notify you of all the times we go live. Typically every Thursday night around 5:40 to 6 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time, we'll go live, and you can ask questions live off the cuff, and we'll go through everything with you. We appreciate you listening. We appreciate you being part of the community, and we're happy to be here and help. If you want additional help, come get it on our webpage. Come get it in our Facebook group. We are here to help. This is an awesome community. Stay ready. Stay ready-minded. That'll get you through the tough times. And come join the community. We appreciate you guys, and we'll catch you on the next episode.